Hello everyone, this is Linda Ferguson
and Karen Nelson-Bell,
and welcome to another episode of Platinum Prime Life, your podcast that shares tips and tricks and things that have worked for us to help you live an amazing Platinum Prime life.
Yep.
So today, Karen, we're going to talk about something that is kind of a heavier subject for us.
Okay.
And that's the subject of betrayal. Heavy, right?
Ah.
Anyway, I was reading something from one of my favorite authors, Sahil Bloom is his name. And so he puts out an incredible newsletter that I've spoken about before, and I'll have a link to it in our show notes. But this is the inspiration for this particular episode. The title is The Snake Chasing Effect. And his take on it was, it's a story that he comes back to often when he's feeling negative about life. A man is walking through the woods when he stumbles across a snake in the center of his path. The snake lashes out and bites him without warning, and then turns and slithers away down the path. The man feels a sharp pain of the bite and the venom coursing through his legs. Fortunately, he's close to his village, so if he just walks back and gets the wound treated, he'll be fine. But he feels the anger and resentment building inside him. Why did the snake do that to me? That's not right. I'm going to get revenge. He starts chasing the snake down the path, but as he pursues the snake, the venom takes hold and he collapses and dies. The story offers a powerful lesson, which you might call the snake chasing effect. In life, you're going to get bitten by a snake every now and then. Someone betrays you, a partner lies, a family member mistreats you, a friend lets you down, a coworker takes credit for your work. The initial wound hurts, but it's survivable. If you take care of yourself and walk back to your village and treat the wound, you'll be fine. But how often do you do the exact opposite? Nelson Mandela is often paraphrased as having said, resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemy. All right, so that is the inspiration for today's episode, because I've experienced betrayal in my life. And also, just a little bit about my path to today is I've been a counselor and a consultant over like 40 some odd years. And so betrayal, someone having betrayed you, or you betraying someone else, is probably the most challenging thing to fix in someone's life, because it is something that we tend to hold on to. So that's my take on it. And I want to ask you, Karen, have you ever been betrayed?
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. Is there anybody on this earth that hasn't somewhere along the path been betrayed? I don't know. I suppose almost everybody can say yes. And it might be that it's what you perceive. Maybe it wasn't betrayal, but maybe that's how you perceived it even. And I want to compliment you first of all, because as you know, we don't ask ChatGPT to tell us what topics to talk about. We just think about what we're interested in. And what I've noticed about you is that you are a curator, and I'm a curator. You're a curator of excellent books, with not necessarily fiction books, but you're a curator of nonfiction books that are helpful to other people. Not self-help books necessarily, but just books with inspiration, books that help us live a better life. And I think you're a quote curator, as am I. I love quotes that can just put everything, condense it down into a few sentences, and it makes sense, and it's something that you could live by. I've got one that just came upon me yesterday. Now, have you ever been betrayed? Yes, I've been betrayed. Yeah, of course. Haven't you? I mean, you already said you have. Yes, I've been betrayed. Yeah, it's no fun. Have I ever betrayed anybody? Have I ever betrayed myself? I've betrayed myself a few times.
So how do you deal with it? How do you deal with it?
I think that betraying yourself is even worse. It has more impact on me when I betray myself. When you make a promise to yourself and you break that promise, it just sticks on you. It sticks and changes how you operate. That's a different story. I don't think that's what you're talking about. You're talking about betrayal by others to you. And as you know, I've been detoxify. I've been doing a detox. I really, really, really don't want to have people around that are going to betray me, that have proven to me that over a period of time that yes, they are likely to betray you. And I don't like it, and I try not to have it. So I've been detoxifying.
Okay.
How about you?
So here's my observation on betrayal. As you say, everyone's had or experienced some betrayal, whether it's happened to them or they've done it to others. I think the stickiness of that emotion is really challenging to get rid of.
Yeah.
And so sometimes in my just being tired or being in a bad mood or whatever, it'll still come back. Betrayal still has the ability to wound me. Now, how do I deal with it? I can do all of the analytical things and say, that's not true, that person was really wrong. But there's something about betrayal that just has that ability to sort of knife you in the back still, maybe years and years and years later. And getting over it, how do you unstick your attention? How do you get over that is what we're going to be talking about. So
we have advice coming from the movie Frozen. Do you want to hear
what's that advice? I'd love to hear it.
Let it go, let it go.
Someone tells me that kind of stuff, it's like great advice. So much easier to just mouth those words and get it done.
Yeah.
And that might just be me. I mean, maybe there are some people that they toughen up after betrayal and just like flip the middle finger and move on. But people that are a little bit more sensitive can...
Harder, yeah, easier said than done. That's for sure.
But you have a song for everything, so I love that about you. That's a perfect song. I will just have that in my head. I actually don't experience betrayal much anymore, so that part's good. I too have really chosen who is around me, who I work with, and I go out of my way not to betray anyone or anyone's trust. I don't let people do that to me either. But so betrayal is, let's just actually talk about, how could someone betray you in the first place? You have to give them permission. That's the answer to that, right?
Oh.
How do you give them permission to betray you? Because you care. You've actually opened up your brick overcoat and you've let someone in close enough to you, and you've trusted them enough. You've given them your trust so that when the betrayal comes, especially if you don't see it coming and it's unexpected, it wounds you.
So is the solution never to open up your brick overcoat?
The solution is you learn from life. You learn about those betrayals. But we're going to be talking about, how do you heal from them? What do you do? Your first thing that you're saying is cut them out of your life. That's absolutely the best thing to do. But what do you do if you're married to someone who is saying things that are very wounding, or your kids?
I just said the most terrible thought. Do you remember the story about Lorena Bobbitt?
What?
Do you remember the story about Lorena Bobbitt?
Yes. Well, that was revenge, all right. How do you get revenge on someone who's betrayed you?
We probably have listeners who don't know who Lorena Bobbitt is, and I'm not sure that if you really want to know who Lorena Bobbitt is, you did to get revenge, you should probably look it up on the internet.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to, but that was her solution.
But talking about revenge, did that backfire on her at all? Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
She wound up in jail.
Yeah.
But she wound up famous and in jail. I don't know if that was helpful. She wound up like losing her life as she knew it changed from that moment of revenge. And what were we talking about? We were talking about chasing the snake.
Right.
Someone betrays you.
Isn't such a good thing. Where does forgiveness fall in?
Let me ask you, where do you think it falls in?
In one situation where I was betrayed and the person recanted, I had forgiveness in my heart. And that was what my heart told me to do. So now, some people don't even think that we have the authority to forgive, that only maybe a higher authority can forgive. I don't know the answer to that, but I had forgiveness in my heart, and so that's where I went.
I think that's good. And do you still feel betrayed by that person, or when you forgave them? What happened after that?
It still sticks to me.
Okay. So, my analogy of where you just sort of open up your brick overcoat and you let someone in close enough to you and they betray that closeness. Does that wound ever heal? And you're saying it still sticks to you.
Well, not every wound stays open. That was one example. Can I find anything? Let's see. Well, what about you? Did you ever forgive somebody who betrayed you?
You know what? I have many times where I've forgiven them, but then there are people that cross that line where I've gone like this and they've gone, or in my back. And when I cross the line, I do not care. I will never forgive them for the rest of my life. I don't pursue it. I just decide it. It's just like, you are gone as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. You know what, Linda? That's a funny thing because for myself, I find myself more tending towards a forgiving spirit. But you betray a friend of mine, if somebody betrayed you, you can forgive them all you want, but I won't. I might be nice to them, I might be civil, I might be friendly, but I will never, ever forgive them, and I will never do business with them, and I will not hang out with them. If you harm my friend, I'm like a mama bear, and I bet you a mother feels the same way. You betray my child, you're gone.
That's right. That's right. Betrayal it's a heavy subject.
Well, I don't know why it's more powerful urge in me to my friends than it is to my own self. I don't know. I haven't got that.
Self-preservation here. It should be just as powerful. If they betray you directly and they've crossed that line, do not let them back in your life. They don't deserve you. That's just to start out with. And they should be gone. And there's a reason that we're friends, because it's the same way. If someone's really just done this huge betrayal and they've crossed that line with me, forget it. I don't care what they do. I don't care if they recant. I don't care if they're like, being Mother Teresa now. The fact that they had the capacity of that level of betrayal means it exists in them. And I hope they live a blameless and wonderful life the rest of their life. But there's just a point where, no, you're never going to be in my good graces again. I will always be highly suspicious of you. And typically they're gone. They're gone. I wish the best for them.
Just for the record, I don't plan on betraying you. Consequences.
Yeah. Well, I always kind of wish the best for everyone, because when people survive and they survive well, when they're doing good things, it benefits the world. It makes everything better. So I'm not someone who like says, "Oh, you're my enemy, so I wish the worst for you." It's you're not working on my team, but still, if you can do good for mankind, go do it. Focus on it. Just don't focus on betraying or doing me in or doing my friends in, and we'll get along just fine.
Do you have now? I have this world view that I don't have enemies. I'm sure I probably do, but I have this misguided notion that everybody loves me. I know that sounds really stupid. I think it sounds stupid. I
Okay.
I just feel that way. I feel like I I love everybody, so why wouldn't everybody love me? So, and it isn't true. It isn't true. I don't actually love everybody. I don't love mean people. I don't love cruel people. But it's a different way of navigating the universe. My world is navigated as though I don't have enemies. I go about my day not thinking I have enemies. I don't, and I can't even. And here's a viewpoint that I've adopted, and it's been a good viewpoint for my survival. Is that anybody who chooses to be my enemy or chooses to unfriend me I don't mean on Facebook. I mean like in life, that they've chosen not to be my friend, and they think ill of me and have hard thoughts about me. My prayer or my vision is that someday they will see the truth, is that I was a friend and that they should have known that I was their friend, and that they will come back and recant. Now, I don't. It isn't important. I mean, I don't go around waiting for it, but I have had at least 3 times where people have come to me and said, Karen, you were right, and I should have never turned away and destroyed what we had. And I've had that happen at least 3 times that I can specifically name. And that's my vision, is that I don't want to have enemies. So if I have an enemy, and if you are one of my enemies, watch out, because one of these days you may decide not to be my enemy anymore.
I think, knowing you as well as I do know you, anyone who feels ill toward you just doesn't know you. They don't know you because you do go out of your way to not speak badly about anyone else and to be very positive and to try and help others. It's really true. I mean, it sounds airy fairy and, oh, Karen walks on moonbeams.
It's a
But
really nice thing for somebody to say. Thank you, Linda.
yeah, but I never see you down on anyone. You just shut your mouth and you don't say one more thing, which is great. Don't speak ill of others. It's a very good rule to live by, and you live by it. So I do like that.
I learned it the hard way, and one of the things that I read one time, I wish I could quote it exactly, was that you never. I want to use a word that begins with SH and ends with T. You never do that where you work. And it meant don't ever talk bad about your boss. Don't ever talk bad about your company. And a friend of mine, a really, really close friend of mine, did do that and talked bad about their boss, and it got back and they got fired, and it was a big life changing moment. So yeah, I learned it the hard way, is that you don't betray people that you've given your allegiance to, and for as long as you're working for a company, that's your allegiance. And by talking bad about, talking smack about the boss or talking smack about the company, you are betraying that trust that was given to you.
Okay, so now we've talked about chasing the snake, which is sort of the parable that we're going after.
Yeah.
And it is a snake has bitten you, or someone's betrayed you, or really ticked you off. It's festering. You can't take your attention off of it. You can choose to take revenge, or you can take steps to heal. So, and we're talking about, well, how do you heal? How do you get your attention off that betrayal? So Karen breaks into song. She starts singing.
It's kind of my solution for everything, isn't it?
Yeah. And I actually, how do I deal with it? Well, again, it hasn't happened in a long time, but I refocus just on what my goals are. And when I refocus on that, and in general, I also am a good person. There are so many things about who I am that I worked really hard on to isolate the goodness in me and to get rid of those things that are not as good for myself or for the world, right? So that I'm living a platinum prime life. And I am. Karen and I both work hard on this. But so I always just acknowledge, hey, I feel betrayed by that person. If I feel like it was unintentional, they did something that wasn't really, they didn't mean to, but I felt wounded about it, I reach out to them and go, hey, what you just said to me actually really hurt my feelings, or I felt like SHIT after you said that, to see what their result is. If I know that that was an intentional thing, meaning they backstabbed and they fully intended for that to happen, and there's no doubt in my mind, I acknowledge that it happened. I look at, okay, I don't feel so good right now. What do I need to do? Take a walk, refocus on a goal or whatever. So I just kind of take care of myself first after the betrayal. I always have revengeful feelings on someone that intentionally wants to hurt me. And so I changed my mind. I'm just like, okay, I don't want to go there. That's not going to help me. Because you just feel this, right, inside of you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't lead anywhere. It really is. The only person you're really poisoning is yourself. And if you feed any bit of that, it will only extend the whole experience. It really does let that poison seep through you, because it's not good for you. So that's just
snake chasing. No snake chasing for us.
Stop chasing. And revenge is usually a fantasy anyway, like all the things in your mind, like you could do this and that. Yeah. And then redirect the energy. So put the energy into something that's actually adding to your life, adding to the world, adding to where you want to go.
I do think I endorse, there's many scenarios in movies, books, everywhere, cartoons, a woman who has been betrayed by infidelity with her husband, tosses his clothes and belongings out the window, or even what series? There was a comedy series where she sold all of his stuff at a yard sale. Sold his favorite golf clubs at a yard sale. Mm-hmm. Tossing all of his belongings out the window, or selling goods at a yard sale. That's kind of delicious.
Yeah.
Of all revenges, that's kind of the most, the one that gives us the chuckles.
I had a girlfriend who had that happen to her. Where
Really?
She spent all the money in hers and her husband's joint savings account on something, and then told him afterwards. And she came home to see stuff flying out the second story window. All of her stuff was being tossed. I went, oh. And then they got divorced. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm not saying I recommend it. I'm just saying that it has some humor in it.
No, it feels good to start out with, but it just opens the door to so many more things you have to deal with that you probably would rather not.
Yeah.
So this is an insight from Mel Schilling. She's an author on Woman and Home. True power is quiet. Allow emotions, but don't let them consume you. So that's good advice. So you can fantasize for the moment, then shut it off and redirect those emotions to something that is healthful, or you've got a hobby or whatever. And
I promise, we'll do.
What is the best revenge of all for someone who has betrayed you? What's the best revenge you can get on them?
Just to do great. Just for you personally, to just be doing fabulous.
Exactly.
And there you are being fabulous. Be
That's exactly right. The best revenge of all is to, one, point it out if that's a proper thing to do, but then if you know that it was an intentional betrayal, is just succeed beyond your wildest dreams.
I think there is such a thing called a revenge dress.
Oh yeah, what is that?
It's when a woman goes out looking beyond amazing. I've only seen the term given to stars who have had their they've split with their boyfriend, and they talk about the revenge body or the revenge dress, because it's a makeover that you're so fabulous that it makes the prior person go, oh shit, I'm
Exactly. That's right. You look so good. You're so successful. It far outweighs whatever that person was dealing against you.
I got my revenge body.
You do. Oh my gosh, you look fabulous.
80-year-old revenge body with a flat tummy and a waistline at 81. Go figure.
Okay, I don't have a revenge body anymore, but I could work on it. There you go. So we are coming to the end of this episode, and what we've covered is betrayal and ways that you can deal with betrayal. And to help you, if you've ever been betrayed and you're still kind of hanging on to it, hard for you to let go, we have a handout or a download for you that,
Whoa.
I know, we're so cool. Anyway, it's called Stop Chasing the Snake. And so it's just a little short workbook on steps that you can take to overcome betrayal and kind of, get it out of your head onto paper, and then make the steps toward becoming the revenge body or the revenge boyfriend or the revenge career or the revenge. You're succeeding beyond your wildest dreams. And anyone who has thought less of you than what you thought of yourself will have to stand back and eat their words. All right, so that link to download that will be in our show notes. All right, Karen.
If I point this way, Linda, am I pointing to you? Or if I point that way, am I pointing? I don't know which. But this person, this Linda, those handouts are all, she's amazing. Thank you for these wonderful handouts. You, Linda, you.
Absolutely. We'll get it right this way. When we're recording this, we're in a studio side by side. But when we release the video, it's exactly the opposite. So right now I would be pointing to Karen, am I now? This is how it'll come out. Yeah, exactly. Okay. And oh, by the way, I do like that little black and gold thing you got going on there. Look at us.
From my
twinsies.
Friend Sherry, she brought this back from her cruise, and it's I'm getting younger, ask me how.
Okay, and here's my shirt. Never quit. Just never quit.
Yay! Here, do yours and I'll do mine. Do yours.
Yeah, never quit.
Never quit.
We're getting younger. Ask us out.
Woo!
All right, and with that, we come to another episode.
That's a great thumbnail of our T-shirts. Instead of our faces, we'll put
Get those girls out there. That's right. Get those girls out.
Well, the girls always were good for promotion back in the day. I don't know that for me now there's such good promotion, but my T-shirt is.
But yes, it is.
Your T-shirt.
I'm just going to have like the movie shot for one of our thumbnails. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
There we go. All right, Golden Girl.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.